Started. All right, perfect. Hi, Oleg. Many thanks.
Hi,
It's great
how
to have
are
you
you?
here. So,
Great to
first of
see you
all,
again.
great to see you. Congrats on scoring 152 on your EA executive assessment test, which I think is a great score. And I also see that you've told me many of the schools have said that yes, they like the score. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I'm at the same time disappointed and happy. You know, you and I worked very hard for the past 3 months, and you remember when we started my first demo version test, I got 148. Then the second one I got 149, and the third one we got 151. So I'm very happy I got 152 on the score. So the real score. Well, I hoped I would be able to get a little bit better, maybe 155 or something like that. But look, we really worked super hard on this, and
Right.
yeah, with
That's
all
great.
this, yeah.
That's great. So awesome. Let's just like try to understand your journey now a little bit. Can you just tell me a little about, your background, your education, and how have you progressed in your career, and why in the first place you decided to take the executive assessment test?
Sure, absolutely. As you probably know, I'm from Russia. I grew up in Russia, and then I immigrated to the United States not so far ago. I had a little business experience in Russia. I worked at the company, and then I came to the US. I started working at the US company. Unfortunately, I was laid off during the COVID. Whatever happens. So, and I had this perfect opportunity to decide to maybe the best thing for me would be to go to school because economy is not great at this point, and I still wanted to go education because in the United States, what I found that my all this experience and the recognition that I received in Russia, like university, nobody know about it. Nobody really cares. So it was difficult for me to establish credentials here. So I think that was the reason I decided to go to MBA and study with you in order to
Great,
get there.
great. So now that you began your journey, how long have you been studying for this executive assessment test? Like when was the first time, you thought that I'd want to take this test, and how long it has been since then?
Right. So I wish I would find you a little earlier on my journey. So I started on my own because I thought it'll be cheaper and easier for me to do on my own, and I studied maybe for a month and a half before I started researching for a tutor, and then I found you. And
Yeah.
I think I wasted a lot of time on doing on my own because the things you explain to me in 5 minutes, it usually were taking me like a week to research and understand what they really want from me because executive assessment, similar to the GMAT, it's a very specific test, and you need to know the structure of the test and specific strategies to approach the test. And I think I wasted a lot of time, and I wish I would not waste that time, and I would just
R-
go straight study with you.
Right.
Wish I knew you. I wish I met you before.
Right. So about this executive assessment, not many people may know about it because, of course, it is quite a popular one, but not many people may know that it's also similar to the GMAT, having the similar sections. So you have integrated reasoning, verbal, and quant. And you had been basically studying for approximately how long? Was it for months or years, or what was the time span, just to get an idea there?
Yeah, so I studied for about 2 months on my own, and I studied for about 2 months with you.
Right. And what were you scoring, prior to, I mean, at the
Before
starting
we
when?
started studying with you, I was scoring about 142.
Right. So
And after you and I studied for, remember you told me that let's study for 2 weeks and then you take your first diagnostic test, and then I
right.
follow your guidance and I follow your study plan. And then after I took my first practice test after 2 weeks of studying with you, I got 148.
That's great. That's great. So what were the materials? Can you just tell us about like what materials were you using? And you talked about, you were doing your own research and trying to find out things which took you a lot of time, of course, but still, what are the materials which you used, and what was your experience with them?
Right. So I initially, of course, I wanted to save money, and I started looking online, like GMAT. What's a forum? What's it called? GMAT. What's it called?
GMAT
The
Club.
GMAT Club, and then also online material. I also bought on eBay the used book that they use for the GMAT prep book, one of the all the years, for like
Right.
$5 because I like I told you I lost the job. I didn't want to spend crazy money for this preparation test. I looked for the official prep tests like Manhattan GMAT, Kaplan, and they're incredible schools, but I couldn't afford them because they charge like almost $1,000 for a course, and I'm like, I didn't have that kind of money, or pay $200 or $150 per hour for a private tutor. I said like I'm unemployed. I don't really able to do that. So I was doing that for a while. I think also that this hindered me because that's like I wasted so much time to doing that, and then eventually I bought official GMAT prep questions. I bought them.
Right.
Well, they're not expensive. I don't remember how much I paid, maybe $100, maybe a few $100. And I just try to solve them. But the problem is just solving questions without knowing how to solve them or without working on a specific skill. I wasted so many questions. I went over all the questions they have, and then I didn't learn anything because I was like, okay, then what? So, and then you try to explain to me, hey, let's spend 5-10 minutes on one question, understanding every little detail about the question, and then all the wrong answers and right answers. So I was a little bit reluctant to do it at the beginning, but then I understand your point of view. But I unfortunately already used all the official GMAT questions. But whatever, we still work hard.
Exactly. So let's dive to a little bit into the specifics now of these sessions. So what do you think about these sessions? I mean, what exactly was the value addition you felt from these sessions, which you were not getting from the books and other methods that you had tried earlier? So what was it specifically in these sessions that helped you get to that score, which you probably wouldn't have thought you would have achieved when we started or before we met?
Right. I think I make an analogy with any sport. You can make an analogy with any sport or any skill you train. You can, like, let's say basketball. You're able to shoot the ball to the basket, or soccer. You're able to hit the ball, and but the problem is there are so many details in that. And if you want to score better, if you want to score higher, if you want to be more precise or be more accurate and faster, I think you need a professional coach, a person who knows how to do that. That's why every sport, every professional sport person has a coach, because you need a coach. If you go to the gym and you want to lose weight, you have a coach. If you in the GMAT, that's a specific thing. You need to have a coach. I think even Americans, like my wife is American, and but she studied for the GMAT with a tutor because she needed to understand the structure of the test. They need to understand the timing, because timing pressure is serious. And I think with you're able to help me. You help me to become more confident with timing and with the question types and how to approach question. I think strategically with a certain structure it has. I think that was very helpful from your side. And also, you knew all the questions. What I like, you prepare for the class. Let's say you send me the homework. You say, hey, did this 10 questions of critical reasoning, 10 questions of correction, 10 questions of reading comprehension, 10 questions on math, and then questions I did wrong. I send it to you. You understood them. You look over, and then you explain to me, hey, that's how we went over my thinking process, and then you're like, hey, you made a mistake. You went wrong way on this. You didn't really my problem. Remember, in the reading comprehension or in critical reasoning, my problem was to miss a little word like alter, or like the little word like yet, or like some that changes the meaning. So that was my problem. So you teach me how to read precisely, how to understand sentence by sentence. Remember, we were spending like 40 minutes on a one reading comprehension question passage because you wanted me to understand the reading comprehension passage so well before I approach the problems.
Right. And you also told me you felt a lot more confident once we started following the precise approach, trying to extract like the maximum juice from each question. And I think that I also recommend always that to my students. Don't worry about the number of questions. It's also about like how the quality and the time you spend. So that's great. That's great. So can you also tell us a little bit about now which schools, you have got this great score and you're going to be going to some schools. Can you give us a name of few schools which you'd be, applying to in your next steps in your MBA journey?
Yeah, sure. So the deadline, actually, the first deadline on the one school that I'm applying is coming up in 10 days. I'm planning to apply. There are a few dream schools that I want to go, like Columbia, NYU, Wharton. I emailed them directly asking about my executive assessment score and what would think about it. All those top schools gave me an interesting answer. They said, "Look, we accept people with that score. It is in the range. If you're better than 150, you are in the range of being accepted. But the better score, the better." But so basically, I have to do benefit analysis right now because I only have 10 days to prepare applications, and I don't really have time to retake the test, even though I wanted to retake the test because I feel I can get a little better. With studying with you, you gave me so much confidence, so I think I have energy to retake it, but I don't have time to retake it right now. So I still want to send application to some of my dream schools, and then I want to go to the second tier schools like Rutgers, Fordham, Johns Hopkins, Virginia University, like those schools, Carnegie Mellon. So I think that those schools are more. It's more realistic to get in, but it's unfortunately it's not a dream school. So I have this dilemma: what to do. Pursue a dream school, but then I have to spend a few more months to study and miss the deadline, and probably apply in the first round next year. But then I have to wait another year and a half until to start school, or apply now and start school in 6 months in September. Like which more realistic? It's December 2020 and COVID situation. Well, it's gonna go over soon, but you don't want to sit home for a year and a half.
Exactly. I mean, with schools, of course, like Wharton and Stanford and top schools, there is no score which can guarantee an admission. They'll always say the higher the better. So that's given. But for even the other schools, I think some of the schools also said that they liked your score and they're happy admitting you with that. Is that correct?
For the other schools?
Yes, some of the other schools which also said.
Yeah, other schools said if you score higher than 150, you are in a safe spot. You good.
Okay, so you have secured from that front. You're safe, at least for some of the schools which should be applying to. You're safe already, right?
Yes, yeah. As long as my application is up to snuff and I have good essays, I think they should be. It should be fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So it's great talking to you, Oleg. I think we covered a lot of interesting points, and I wish you all the best in your journey. And I hope you get into your dream school very, very soon. It was great talking to you, Oleg.
Thank you so much for learning with me and helping me.
Take care. Thanks, Oleg.